Welcome to my YouTube channel, Ministry of DevOps.com. Today we are going to talk about the service mesh. You guys have already heard about what is service mesh, and you know why we need that, why we are required the service mesh, right? But today we are going to talk through about what is Istio service mesh, what kind of problem does it solves for the developers. And for the overall microservices architecture, how it's get fit in into the microservices architecture, why it is required within the Kubernetes framework or Kubernetes orchestrator, how it is integrated, and we will be doing a hands-on demo of book info application example which is provided on the Istio service mesh. Right. So why we need Istio service mesh is the first question, right? So with growing microservices architecture and the adoption of Kubernetes, and how the services communicate to the outside world, both securely and safely. The what is required from the application developers is, they also have to add the networking stack to their application code, to fix or to deal with the issues which are like service discovery, circuit breaking, routing, load balancing, traffic routing, and secure authorization. So what happens is, what does Istio help? How does Istio helps in achieving all those things? Is that it provides an answer to all these by abstracting all of these components into a sidecar, which could be attached to the application and could communicate with all the other sidecars on a network, right? So talking briefly about the Istio architecture. A typical service mesh can be divided into two parts, a data plane and a control plane. The data plane deals with the actual traffic from one application to another. Any networking aspect regarding the actual service request, such as routing, forwarding, load balancing, even authentication and the authorization, are part of the service mesh data plane. The control plane is the entity that connects to the various data planes into a distributed network. This is the policy and the management layer of the service mesh. So one of the most popular service mesh is Istio, and that's what we are going to discuss and do a kind of hands-on session today on the Istio, right? So if you go to the Istio website, they have provided a very detailed explanation about all of these use cases, that what is Istio, what kind of features it has. So I'm not going to talk through about those in any further details. I will directly jump onto the demo thing, what I'm going to demo today, and how we are going to do it, right? So for the demo of the Istio working application, I will be using a local Minikube cluster. So if you go to the Istio website, there is a link for the Minikube, how you need to set up the Minikube. So you just need to go to that Minikube page. I will provide all these links in the description, and also provide the GitHub link of all these required commands and the flow of how you need to do it. So just concentrate on and be with me throughout this session, right? So first step is to install to set up the Minikube cluster. So I've already uh, installed the Minikube. So now we will set up the cluster. So as it says that we need a 16 GB of memory and the 4 CPUs to run the Istio overall Istio examples. Otherwise, what happens is that we might face few issues while running our demo, like image pull failures, health check timeouts failures, kubectl failures, and as all what is mentioned here, right? So let's do the first thing and uh, set up the Minikube cluster. So let's press the enter and let's wait for Minikube cluster to to get started. So while the Minikube cluster is coming up, uh, I will I will get you through like what is the application we are going to deploy on this Minikube cluster, and the and what are the things we are going to cover in today's session, right? So we are going to cover install book info application. So this example is again provided on the Istio site, and what this book info application is, it consists of few microservices, microservices, which is product page, details, reviews, and ratings. So what happens is that the the product page microservice calls the details and the reviews microservices, the reviews and the details microservices. The product page calls the reviews and the detail microservices. The reviews services has the three versions, basically v1, v2, v3, and it is written in Java. The detail service is written in Ruby, and the ratings microservice is a node service, right? So what happens is that the reviews v1 service doesn't call the rating service, while the v2 and v3 does call the rating service, and the Ruby service is a standalone service, as it is mentioned here, right? So what it does is the product microservice calls the details in the reviews microservice to populate the page. The details microservice contains the book information, as it is a book info application. So what it does is a sample book information is provided, and the details of that book is visible using this detail service. The reviews microservice contains book reviews, as the name suggests, and it also calls the rating microservice. The rating microservice contains book ranking information that accompanies a book review, right? So what happens with uh, the rating microservice contains book ranking information. So with the if we are using a v1 review version of the review service, then the rating service will not be visible on the web page once this application is deployed. And with the reviews v2 and v3, it will be it should be visible like ratings in the star format and with the colors, right? So we will come to understand this further, as it is showing here that version v2 calls the rating service and displays each ratings as 1 to 5 black stars, and version v3 calls the rating service and displays each ratings as 1 to 5 red stars, right? So this is about the sample application which we are going to deploy. And the another thing which I want to mention is that this is a polyglot applications. That means the applications are written in different languages. That the product page is written in Python, this is written in Java, this is in Node, and this is in Ruby. So this is a polyglot applications, right? And that shows that the Istio can work with the polyglot applications, with the applications written in different languages. So that's another advantage of using Istio, right? Let's go to the now we see that our Minikube cluster is being set up. So if we go to this page, then I have to run these commands to validate. So let me do a Minikube SSH. I can go into this, and if I go to a top, I can see that the 4 CPUs have been assigned, and 15.7 gig of the memory is being allocated, right? So by this we have almost validated first part, that okay, our the Minikube cluster which we have set up is working fine, and we can now proceed with the deployment of our applications, right? So this is the very first page which we are using for the Minikube setup, and we ran just one command. The second thing which we are going to use is the getting started page. So in this page, what we will do is we will download and install Istio first, because to work with the Istio we need a Istio application, Istio as a binary, or as a package. So we will install, download and install Istio. We will deploy the sample application, that's the same book info application we are talking about, and then we will see that we will deploy we will see that how these application works with the Istio, right? And we will try to visualize the traffic as well, right, to start with. So yeah, let's start with the Istio installation. So this is the very first command which we have to use. So let's go here. Do is install Istio. So for the installation of Istio, what we need to do is go to just go to the page, getting started page, and copy this. And I've already created a directory for the Istio installation, so I will just do this, and I'm done with the Istio installation, right? I will just go into the Istio, and I will just export the path so that the istio.ctl is in my path. Istio.ctl is in path. So these, if I copy this, let's see what it gives. No issues. Istio is safe to install or upgrade, right? As of now, we have not started the installation. So yeah, this message is expected. Now we go into this directory. The sample applications are in the samples directory. The istio.ctl binary is in the bin directory, and we have already added into the path. So that's okay. This is already running. So the next step for us to install Istio. Now, if you see there that for the installation we use the demo configuration profile. So what the Istio provides is it like installation. The Istio provides few already built-in profiles like default, demo, minimal, external, empty, and preview, and these are the main components which gets installed along with each of the profile. Each of the profiles. So for this session we will use the demo profile, which consists of all the components of the Istio. So we will go ahead and install the profile. So if I open the another terminal and show you kubectl get namespaces, I see that now the Istio namespace has been created just in the background. So Istio hyphen system is the default namespace where these three components which I was showing you, the Istio Egress Gateway, Ingress Gateway, and the Istio components gets installed with that command. So, so as you can see, it is being in progress. So if I do get ports hyphen n Istio system, so yeah, so you can see that the Istio daemon is have started to run, while the ingress and the egress gateways are getting created. So Istio is the main daemon, is the, you can say it is the main pod or main process or main daemon, Istio daemon, which runs in the control plane. It is the only daemon which runs in the control plane and is responsible for the management of all the traffics which enter to the data plane via ingress gateway, goes through all the mesh or the envoy proxies or the CRDs of the Istio system, which get installed along with these Istio ingress and the egress gateways, and till the last point where the traffic get exited through the from the Egress Gateway, right? So the Istio, this is the only component which belongs to the control plane, and these two components belongs to the data plane, even though they are installed in the same namespace, right? So there are various deployment models also, which depending on the requirement, on on which region we want to run. When we have a big deployments, the huge deployment architecture, these components can be separated with each others, and there are several use cases which are discussed in the deployment models of the Istio in the documentation. But for now, as that is not in our scope, we will cover that in some later session. But yeah, just for the information, it is good to know. So this configuration, so this profile we have installed. So I will close this page, and now I will see that where we have reached. So yeah, our Istio installation is being completed, as we can see here. So all the three pods have been running on the Minikube cluster, right? The next step, which is a very important, and which is the most important step of the Istio system, is to uh, uh, have a namespace where the application will be deployed, and for that namespace we need to create a label, which is Istio injection is equal to enabled. So once this label is set up, is configured, what will happen is Istio will automatically inject envoy sidecar proxies along with the applications. Now, sorry, there are two methods actually, which we can use to inject the envoy proxies. The first method is, you can see that in whichever namespace we want to deploy our application, we can apply the Istio injection enabled label on that namespace, and and Istio will automatically take care of injecting the envoy proxies with in that namespace to whatever application we deploy to it in that namespace. The another method is that we can also inject the proxies manually. Probably that process we will discuss later, once we have a basic understanding of how Istio is working. We will do that as well, right? But for now, what we will do is we will have a what we are doing in the default namespace. You can also do that in a separate namespace, right? So let's create a different namespace. So kubectl create namespace DevOps. Okay, so if you see, we have a now namespace. Now throughout our demo we will use this namespace now. So uh, let's enable the Istio in this namespace. Okay, so our namespace is labeled, right? Now the next step is to deploy the book info sample application. So for that, if you see, I have already within this folder, I will show you the uh, uh, folder structure a bit. So what happens is, within this Istio project structure, we have a binaries. It's basically consists of Istio We have few manifests with charts in the examples, and within the samples we have we have few add-ons, book info, and few other some examples, manifest, or the small projects which will help to for the understanding of Istio. And for this session we will use, throughout the session we will use this book info folder. Along with that we will using networking and sometime platform and sometime policies for different examples. But to start with, we will start with networking section, right? So if you go to the uh, if you go to the this section, it says the deploy the sample application. Then this is the first thing we will do. We will deploy the book info sample application, and it is in it is available in samples book info platform cube. So I'm sorry, I think we will start with platform one. So platform cube bookinfo.yaml. If you see there, all the manifest information is available here, right? So what we just need to do is uh, to just copy paste this, and after this we need to mention that it needs to apply to the it needs to apply to the DevOps namespace, right? So you see it has created all the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 13 objects. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 13, yeah. So it's all created. So let's just wait. kubectl get pod hyphen n DevOps, right? So we will see that these pods are getting created, right? So the pods are initializing. So let's wait for a couple of minutes for that. So one of the interesting thing, while the pods are coming, you will notice that 0 by 2, right? So within each pod, that means two containers are running, right? One container belongs to the microservice, the specific the business logic or the application, whatever the developer has written, and the second container belongs to Istio, that is the proxy which has been injected by the Istio by default, right? So that's why you are seeing 0 by 2. Yeah, so one of them is running. So if I go and do kubectl describe pod hyphen n DevOps, right? So what do you see here, right? And let's start from here, right? So first thing we see, let's not talk about annotations because it is still the starting of the of our this discussion, but I will go in detail in the later sessions about about and talk about annotations and these things as well, right? But let's see one interesting thing, that this is one of the init containers which ran Istio init container, and if you see here that it is terminated and it is completed. Actually it started at 22 28 32 and just finished, right? So what this Istio init container does, it runs few, and you see the IP tables command, and you see redirect rules. So this is the basically a init container which runs before any other containers setup, do some pre setup for the application, or or the next container which is going to run and exits. What exactly this Istio init container does, and we will go into those details in some later sessions. The second interesting thing I want to show you is, if you go to this container sessions, right, you will see two containers are running, the ratings and the Istio proxy. So the rating one is the one, and you see both of them are in the running status, right? So what that means is, you both the containers, we have two containers, the ratings one, that's why I said 0 by 2. the ratings, and we are running two containers, ratings and the Istio proxy one, and both the containers are running and in the continuous running state. So that's why, so this is, and this Istio proxy one is the one which has been injected by the Istio, right? And if you see here, it using the proxy image, which is the NY proxy version image, right? So this is how it works. And if you see, this is just the events. So if you see here that the created container is Istio in it, then this started, it exits, then the another the business logic of the business application, which is here the ratings app, that image is pulled, that started, and along with that proxy container started, the Istio proxy started, and the health is good. I think this will come up, not an issue, right? So let's check where we are with the other ports. So as of now, we see that the other ports are still coming up. It takes quite a time basically uh, to for all the ports to come up. So let's wait for some time, and I will come back when these ports are up. Welcome back, guys. And so if we see now, that we will see that all the applications are running now. So we will move to the next step. So we will just check at every step. We need to ensure that we are running everything with the -n DevOps. Otherwise, what happens is I sometimes forget to mention the namespaces as well. So yeah, so this is how we see that the our applications are up now. So the next thing, if we go to the next step, right, we will just validate using a curl command. We will exit into the pod, right, and we will check using a curl command whether that with just grab the title of the page. So if you see that, if you copy this command, let me copy and run this command, right? So I think there is some issue, so let me do that. This is not working, so let's do this way. Kubectl exec, then the pod name, and the which of the pod name, ratings one. So let me take the rating pod, right? And you see that -c, that within that rating pod, I am doing that in the ratings container, right? Because we have two bots for this. One is the proxy one and the another one is the rating one, right? Now I run this command. Let's see. Yeah, why? Because I forgot the namespace. Okay, yeah, I have to do this here. Okay. So -n DevOps. If you see this that the simple posted app. So we are so as of now, what we have done is we have successfully run the getting started page. What we have done is we understood how the uh, what are the advantages or disadvantages of the Istio. We learned about the how this book info application works and how we need to deploy it, how it's getting deployed on the Minikube. We made a choice of the Minikube platform. We install the Istio, we install this book info application, and as of now we are able to kind of validate that as of now the things are working fine and it is going in the right direction. right? Now the next thing is, as I talked earlier, that we have an Ingress Gateway. Istio Ingress Gateway is also available. So by default we can also use Kubernetes Ingress Gateway as well. But for this session, as since we are only specifically talking about the example which is providing on the Istio site, we will use the Istio Ingress Gateway. In some other session, I will also try to run this example using only Kubernetes Ingress Ingress controller. Right. So the next thing we need to do is we need to associate this application with the Istio gateway. Okay, well and good. So we have to go to the book info networking book info gateway. But first, let's see. What is this one? What is this networking book info gateway? Right. So what this book info? Let's first apply that and then go about understanding it. Then go about understanding it. So let's apply and see that I made a mistake. So I need to delete this and then apply -n DevOps, right? So if you see that, right, so this has created two manifests, right? But in gateway networking, and another one is virtual service. So if we go to the manifest for both these, right, we will see, so both of them are basically, I would say, the CRDs for the Istio. The one you say this is, right, this is kind of a gateway which is gate which runs at the edge of the mesh, right? And what it is saying is that it is a gateway CRD. Its name is book info gateway. The selector is Ingress Gateway, the Istio default Ingress Gateway, which we have installed in the Istio system namespace. Servers, the port 80, the name and the protocol is HTTP, right? And host star means traffic coming from any host. And similarly, what happens is, it is a virtual service, which is this what is this virtual service? This virtual service is the virtual service uh, is basically a routing rules, uh, which so the gateway is kind of, you can if I go here and go to the book info application, so this is the request, right? So you can think of this is here some gateway is installed or some gateway application, right? So which gets the gateway, which gets the hit on the URL, and then it asks for the rules, like which endpoint this the request needs to be redirected, right? What this book info gateway does is, which is a request coming from any of the host, the virtual service, what are this virtual service rules, what are the rules? There's anything coming on this gateway, if this URI is slash product page, then the request goes here on the product page microservice. If the prefix is static, that's how it behaves. If it is exec login and the logout, then it behaves accordingly, and the other request goes to the product, right? And the destination for all of them is the product page. The default destination is product page, right? So now we copy this and check whether it's working fine. Now we have to do ctl analyze. Okay, so I have to give the name DevOps. No validation issues found when analyzing namespace DevOps, right? So as of now, what we have done is we have opened the application to the outside traffic, but we have not seen it. right? Since we are working on the Minikube platform, let's run few more commands to understand what is the ingress port and the secure ingress port, in ingress IPs, and how we can see our application. So both these command, what they does is they gives you the ingress port and the secure ingress port. uh, Now we set up the ingress IP, and the ingress IP is the Minikube IP. So if you run this command, this is our Minikube IP. So if I echo ingress host, it will be the same, right? Run this command in a new terminal. So send traffic to your Istio start a Minikube tunnel, so that we can send traffic to our Istio Ingress Gateway and use it for accessing the application. So what I will do is I will run it in the different terminal. It will ask for the password probably. If it not, then yeah. So let me the password, and now I will set the gateway URL. Since I have both URL ingress host and the ingress port, and if I echo them, it is here. Now if I echo this, I will get the URL of my application which I have deployed. So if you see here, so this is the application which we have deployed, right? So the request come to the product page. By default the root is product page. We have book details here, we have book reviews here, the reviewers one in these reviews are coming, right? So this is the basic application what we have deployed, what we were talking, getting starting viewing the now there are the one of the advantage of the Istio is we can also view the it also helps in observability and the telemetry things, right? So Kiali is the dashboard, which helps in understanding the how the service mesh, the view of the service mesh is looking, what's the top topology of the applications, and what's the health of our mesh, right? So for that we will also deploy uh, the we will also install the Kiali dashboard, so that we can view that. So just give me a minute. So these are the things, add-ons which is deployed. uh, we will also deploy Kiali in the Istio system. So if you remember, right, the we have only 3 pods installed in the Istio system: kubectl, get pod -n Istio system, right? But now if you see that we are also installing those services which are responsible for the traceability, observability, and the monitoring, like Grafana, Jaeger, Kiali, and the Prometheus. Right. So if we see here that it is still, these services are still getting deployed. The Kiali is still getting deployed. Once the Kiali is deployed, we should be able to see the dashboard of our services. We should be able to able the view of our microservices which we have installed, right? So it provides a very good view in that sense, and it that UI itself is very helpful, in in applying the various features and of the of the Istio. Now you see that it turns into the red, right? And now if you see, sometimes it turns into the black, right? So that means that we have a different versions of reviewers are in review services are installed. Sometimes if you remember from here that it is going to the request is going to the v2, the sometimes the request is going to the v3, and that's the reason that you know and even this time you don't see any stars. So that means the request has gone to the v1. So v1, v2, v3. So what happens is that since we don't have these subset of rules and these kind of things as of now, you will see that this request goes in the round robin fashion. So once it will go here, then here, then red, then blank, right? So this is how it works. And by now I think the Kiali is, so yeah, the Kiali is still taking some time. Yeah, so let's wait for a minute and I will come back when this Kiali is set up. If I go here, let's see that the Kiali is running. So now what the next command I'm going to run is Istio CTL dashboard Kiali and see how what's the next magic happens. Okay, so it is having some, because the Prometheus is still I think coming up. That's why it's giving error, because you see that the container is still getting created. So probably if I run it here, yeah, it is up now. So probably it should not give any error now. Yep. So if you go to the namespace, just choose a namespace, go to the graph, select namespace DevOps, uh, traffic, service graph, app graph. It is workload graph. It will be empty because there is no traffic as of now. So if you see that to see trace data, you must send request to your service, the number of requests, sampling rate. So you set this rate when you install Istio. The default sampling rate is 1%, so you need to send at least 100 requests before the first trace is available. So if you go here and in the command line, let's send the request. So just to ensure we have correctly, let's copy this and this page, so that the data is starting getting visible. So it will say, yeah, now you can see that, right? So this is the magic of Kiali, and you can visualize your traffic, right? So now currently what you see is that there is a Istio Ingress Gateway system which is installed in the Istio system namespace. Then these set of services which are installed in the DevOps namespace. We have a product page v1 service, we have a details v1 service, we have a reviews service v2 service, and the v3 service. Now you see that details is a separate standalone service. Details is a separate standalone service. You have a review v1 service. You have a review v1 service when when you're this is a reviews v1 service when the no review is coming here, right? Now then you have a reviews v2 service which calls the rating service. and you have a v3 service which calls the rating service, and then you can view that with the black and the red stars. So if you go here, this is the service which is calling the rating service, and this is again this black star service, where the reviews are coming at the black star. So if you see here in the Kiali, this request is we can see that, and here we can see that all the the inbound request which is coming, total success, it is all 200. Okay, there is no 4x or the 5x or the 3x request. If we see here, we can see the traffic rate here as well, we can see the traffic distribution as well, we can see the throughput, and we can see the response time as well. So we can see the service nodes in this fashion, the traffic animation, which looks, yeah, it looks okay, I know. Service nodes, but yeah, the traffic nodes, right? You can view in this way also, right? So all the traffic which is coming here, this is how it is working. And so there are, and then you go to the application, it shows all the applications which are deployed, in which namespace, the labels which are applied to these, and which component they belongs to. Even though your Istio config is there, so a lot of action you can do from this UI as well, but for now we will not focus on that, right? So let this run. Probably we will need that. We will let also this run, and so we have 3 terminals which are continuously running, so let them run. This one, and this one. So I will just mention running 1, running 2, and the third one is running 3. So these are the 3 applications which these are 3 terminals which will continuously be running. And with that, we have finished the getting started page as well. So what we have done as of now is we have also integrated our services, our microservices, the book info application within the Istio service mesh, and those applications are working fine after integrating them with the Istio service mesh and visible on Kiali, and we can see the application are also running fine. The next step which we are going to do is do a demo installation for the next Istio features, which is request routing and the traffic shifting, and which consists of the Genrate deployment using Istio, right? So our next topic will be Genrate deployment using Istio. Hope you like this session, and if you have any comments for this session, please let me know. And if you have liked, if you think that I've discussed some wrong concept, or and I'm not clear on anything, or I need to correct something, feel free to comment. And if you like my channel, just hit a subscribe button and the bell icon, and also let me know what are the topics which you like to cover from DevOps or the cloud or the system administration point of view. Yeah, so I will be waiting for your comments. Thanks, and have a good day and good week ahead. Thank you.